Hello, guys. It's always exciting when I come here to share informations and updates that I know will benefit you in your quest to relocate to Canada. In today's video, I'm basically talking about the recent updates or the trend that is going on in Canada airports, whereby the CBSA officers or the Canada border officers are refusing entry for those that have temporary visas, which includes visitors visas and study permit visa. So I want you guys to sit tight as I explain the reasons behind this and how you can prep yourself so that when you're coming to Canada, you'll not be in a position where you're told by the border officer to go back to your country or to file a claim for a refugee. My name is Raphael Ebose. This is my YouTube channel. I want you guys to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notification, because on a regular basis, I post informations and I post updates, opportunities in Canada that will benefit you in your quest to relocate to Canada. All right, guys, please sit tight now as I explain the reason why CBSA officers are refusing entry for those that have temporary visas that have already landed in Canada airports. All right, guys. The CBSA officers or the Canada border officers are refusing entry for those that have temporary visas, which includes visitors. It's good to be back again. So in today's video, as I said earlier on, I'll be talking about the reasons why CBSA officers or Canada border officers are refusing entries for those that landed in Canada airport on temporary visas, which include visitor visas and study visas. All right, so let's dive in. Take note, the fact that you've gotten a visa stamped on your passport is not a guarantee that you'll be allowed into Canada. It is solely at the discretion of the CBSA officer or the Canada border officer to decide if you're going to be allowed into Canada when you get to the airport. And based on their discretion, when they ask you some questions, if you are not able to answer their questions to their satisfactions, you will be sent back to your country or you'll be asked to file a claim that you're a refugee if probably you state that you have reasons why you cannot go back to your country. For example, you say your life is being threatened in your country or there's an imminent danger going on in your country and it's not safe for you to go back to your country. So they will allow you, they'll give you an option to file a claim as a refugee. And you don't want to be in that position, having spent money, time, and resources to get your visa, and you get to that position where they ask you to do these things. So this is why it's very important you stay true to this video, to the end of this video, so that you get all the necessary information and prep yourself very well if you're coming to Canada with a temporary visa. The first thing you should note that they are going to ask you a lot of questions in the airport. One of the questions are, why are you coming to Canada? How long are you going to stay in Canada? Who are you going to meet in Canada? What are you doing in Canada? So you must prep yourself for those questions. And they're going to ask you, are you working? Why are you leaving your country? And stuff like that. I'm going to give you an example. A friend of mine, the mom recently came to Canada. She has visited Canada before. She spent 3 months in Canada and left and went back to Nigeria. Then she came back after 3 months. While she was at the airport, the CBSA officer started asking her questions. You just left Canada 3 months ago. Don't you have a business in Nigeria? And she answered. She was a very smart woman. She answered and said she has businesses in Nigeria and she has kids, grown up kids that are taking care of the business. Then they asked her again, who are you coming to visit in Canada? She said she has a daughter. And why are you coming to visit your daughter? Can't you talk to your daughter on the phone, on video call? She said the daughter is pregnant and the daughter already has 4 kids. So she's coming to be of help to her. They said, okay, that's fine. Let's have your daughter's contact. And she gave them her daughter's contact and they called her daughter right away to ask her if all the things she said was true. So can you imagine those kind of questions? So that's why it's very important to prepare yourself. The person you're coming to visit, you have to get the person's details, his address, his phone number, his or her phone number or his or her address, and the person's full name. You may not necessarily have those, maybe the phone number in your head. You have to write it somewhere or save it on your phone. So the woman answered those questions and we thought that was the end. Then they asked her some critical, or should I say, very sensible questions that if the woman was not very smart, she would have probably be returned back to her country. And this was the question. They were like, oh, you came 3 months ago and now you're coming back. It seems you like Canada. let's give you permanent residence so that you stay back in Canada. The woman was very smart because that question was a trap. And she told them no, she doesn't like Canada. She's only coming because of her daughter. That once she's done with what she came to do, she's going back to her country. She doesn't really like Canada that much. The reason why I say that question was a trap is because the CBSA officer is not the one that will give you permanent residence. You have to be eligible. You have to create your Express Entry profile account. You have to get ITA, or what we call invitation to apply. You have to validate your Express Entry profile and apply for permanent resident. After that, before your visa will be granted. And once your visa is granted, for those in the permanent resident category, the CBSA officer is just going to verify your passports and your COPRO when you get to the airport. They're not going to be asking you questions. So that was a trap, because the CBSA officer is not the one that will give you the permanent resident. You are the one that will apply for it when you meet the requirement. So she answered it very well, and they told her she can go and see her daughter. So you must be very careful. Know the duration of your stay. When they ask you, you'll be able to tell them you're going to stay for this period of time. If you're staying with someone, as I said earlier on, have the details of the person. If you're going to be staying in an hotel, you must have a reservation booked as well. You must also show your itinerary, which will show your flights to and fro. All right, so you must have those things. If you're working in your country, you should have your employment letter and maybe your letter of introduction or letter of leave from your company stating that you're on vacation, you've been given leave from your office and all that. Then you must also have documents to show your proof of fund, the money you're going to spend. If someone is sponsoring you, the person must also show those documents by, you must also show those documents by having those documents in your phone. So it's very, very important you get prepared. So I'm going to list the things you need to come with if you are coming with visitors visas. I'm also going to list the things you're to come with if you're coming as a student. But before we dive into that, it's also very important you take note if you're coming with a minor, or what we call if you're coming with kids or children below the age of 18, and you're coming alone with that child. Maybe you are a single parent, or even if you're married, maybe your partner is not coming with you. You must come along with a consent form. The consent form must indicate that your partner is fully aware that you're coming with that child to Canada and she's okay with it and all that. So you must come with a consent form from your partner, signed, all right, if possible, notarized as well. So you must be prepared. The child, you must come with the child's passport, immunization card and all that. So it's very important you get yourself prepared. So let's dive into the list of things you should. The list could be more than this, but these are few, so you could get more of this when you're coming, depending on what is required of you. But I'm just going to list few of the things you need when you're coming to Canada on a visitor's visa and on a study permit visa. So for visitor's visa, you have to come with your international passport. You have to come with your medical report. I don't think you really need medical report if you're staying for a short period of time. But if it's part of the things that was asked of you when you were applying for the visa, you have to. Your PC, your police clearance certificate. Usually for visitors visas, you are not supposed to come with that. But if it's part of the things that was required of you, you have to come with it as well. You have to come with your proof of funds documents. You have to come with a letter of invitation if you're invited. So these are things you have to come with. Then the questions you think they will ask you, if you can write it on a piece of paper, perfect. If you cannot, have them saved on your phone so that you show it to the CBSA officers and Canada border officers when you get there. Then for study permit, they're going to ask you a lot of questions. I know a lot of students usually get their study visas or letter of admissions by using agents. There's nothing wrong when you use an agent in the process of your immigration or in the process of your visa application. There's nothing wrong, but it would be unwise of you if you don't involve yourself in the process. So it's very important you involve yourself so that you get to know the school you're applying to, the course you're doing, your duration, if the school is recognized in Canada. What I mean recognize, if it's DLI institution, you must know the location of the school, the school fees you're paying and all that. So get those informations from the agents. If you're using an agent, then obviously if you are doing it yourself, you know all these things, because they're going to ask you those questions when you get to the border. What are you studying? which school are you going, where's the location of the school, how long are you going to be studying and all that, who's going to sponsor you. Are you the one sponsoring yourself, or you have an uncle or a relative somewhere that's going to sponsor you? Do you have sponsorship letter from any organization? So you must prep yourself and come with those documents I just listed. So come with it. You have to come with your police clearance certificate, medical reports, and all that. So you have to prep yourself. All right. So these are the things that are very important when you're coming to Canada. I'm sure most of you will like, oh, I'm not coming to Canada soon, but you never can tell. You can change your mind. Things could get better tomorrow and you want to visit Canada. So this video is important even if you're not coming to Canada very soon. And if you have friends that you know they've gotten their visitor visas or they are coming to Canada to study, please send this video to them so that they can get prepared. That is not all done because they've gotten their visa. Something can still go wrong when they land in the airport in Canada. So they have to prep themselves, get all the necessary documents. Please share my video. As I said earlier, my name is Raphael Ebuse. I want you guys to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notification, because on a regular basis, as you can see already, I post informations, updates, and trends that are going on in Canada. Also, opportunities in Canada as well. All right, guys, sit tight. I'm going to be shooting a lot of videos very soon because there are a lot of things going on. So I want you guys to look forward to my next video. All right, guys, bye for now.